The Boston Celtics are flush with draft picks and likely looking to deal for another superstar. And Yahoo's Chris Mannix says that they'll kick the tires on an Anthony Davis deal. Davis is under contract until 2021, and the Pelicans would like to continue to try his pairing with DeMarcus Cousins. So, CT, is there any chance Boston could pick up the brow?
Yeah, I think they will only be kicking the tires. I just don't see the Pelicans parting with their franchise guy. He is a guy that they drafted #1 overall. And as you mentioned, they still want to give more time to this pairings with Anthony Davis, this pairing with Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. If for some reason you did trade Anthony Davis, remember that Cousins has a chance to be an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2018. So what happens is Cousins decides to go elsewhere. That means you would have traded away Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins walks. And then where are you going, after you don't have either one of those guys? So I don't think they part with him. Still a young player, not to mention the contract that he has. But Anthony Davis only 24 years old. I mean, this guy has a lot of basketball to be played, one of the best two-way players in the NBA, certainly a fantastic shot blocker. When he is healthy, he is an elite player. Many people feel like if he can stay healthy, he will be an MVP contender. He was an MVP contender this year, but just couldn't stay healthy. And then, of course, Russell Westbrook and James Harden had those remarkable seasons. So he would be a huge piece to the Boston Celtics, but I just don't see it happening. If you're the New Orleans Pelicans, it can be hard to attract free agents. You have to trade for a guy like they did for Cousins, or you have to draft a guy like they did for Anthony Davis. Free agents don't really go to the Pelicans in the Big Easy like that, so you can't trade away a huge player, a big-time talent like an Anthony Davis.
Hypothetically, if that trade did happen and DeMarcus Cousins did stay, do you see the ability for DeMarcus Cousins to step into that role as a new franchise guy?
It's interesting because we know all the struggles that DeMarcus Cousins had with the Sacramento Kings, and he didn't necessarily have talent around him. And there will be some question marks about what talent that the New Orleans Pelicans have. Drew Holiday is a guy who's a free agent, so we don't know if he's going to be there. And that was the issue when it was Cousins and Anthony Davis. They didn't have a lot of talent. So I think he could be a franchise player. Wherever DeMarcus Cousins goes, he can hold down the load. He can be a double-double machine. He can be an all-star. But at the end of the day, you have to have players around him. You have to have other talented guys. Specifically, you need shooters because DeMarcus Cousins can get the ball down low and do some things. He can step out, but he could command a double team. You need somebody that when he kicks it out, they can knock down open shots. So the Pelicans with DeMarcus Cousins, they still would just be, contending for one of those final spots in the Western Conference, depending on who's around him.
Yeah, it sounds like the Pelicans' best interest should be harvesting that relationship between those two. For all of your NBA news, keep it locked right here on 120 Sports.